Put it on your calendar?
I did not. Everyone, I want to apologize for being late and wasting some of your time this evening. I didn't put this on my calendar, and I'm very, very sorry to have wasted your time. So with that, we'll jump right in, and I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start, as always, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Mr. Hodge, would you take the roll call, please?
Sure. Jared Tully.
Present.
Robert
Finally.
Stone Street.
Here?
Mike Stewart's.
Here.
Jesse Parker. Tony Hodge here. And alternate member Richard Bone. Mr. President, we have four.
All right. First, next agenda item is action on the June 12, 2025 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion's been made to approve the June 12, 2025 minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That, I will sign the minutes. Before we move to the public hearing, are there any citizen concerns to be voiced today, not related to the agenda item? With that, I will ask, first of all, the next agenda item is the Dennis Alderson zoning variance request to allow for construction of a detached garage, which projects into the required front and rear setbacks. The property is located at 2 Hammock Oak Court in Scott Depot and is zoned R2 mixed residential. Before I open the public hearing, does any member of the board have a conflict with respect to this zoning variance request?
None.
With a quorum, I'll open the public hearing. Staff members will present the summary of the variance request. We'll take comments from the applicant as well as the public. There may be questions from members of the board. We'll then close and recess the public hearing and deliberate. All comments should be directed to the board. Please ask to be recognized by me prior to making public comments. Also, prior to making comments, please stand before this microphone. You may need to adjust it to be sworn in and state your name and address. Each speaker from the public will be allowed to speak once, and the comment time will be limited. The public hearing is held to receive comments. It is not a forum for debate.
Okay, so yeah, we're here for Mr. Dennis Alderson, who's requested the variance for the construction of his detached garage. We have authority under West Virginia State Code, Section 8A, Article 8, which outlines the requirements for the county boards of zoning appeals in their meetings. The zoning ordinance for the zoned unincorporated areas of Putnam County, West Virginia, Article 150 defines terms used such as accessory use, setbacks, and variance. Article 450 states the intent and purpose of the R2 mixed residential zoning area and regulates the land uses and development standards. Article 2100 states the powers and duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals and the procedures for variance requests and public hearings. These authorities are outlined in detail in your packets. So we'll get to the facts. On June 26th of this year, our staff visited the property of Mr. Dennis Alderson and found that a detached garage was being constructed within both the required front and rear setbacks. At that time, Mr. Alderson was advised that this was a violation of county ordinances which require a development permit prior to the start of construction and adherence to the established setbacks. Construction was stopped after we notified him. Mr. Alderson explained that his contractor told him a permit wasn't needed outside of the incorporated areas of Putnam County. But he did get prior approval from the Glenwood Subdivision Homeowners Association where he lives before he started. Since then, he has applied for a development permit and for a variance that would allow the garage to encroach up to 9 feet into the 20-foot front setback along Scott Lane and up to 3 feet into the 5-foot rear setback. You can see those included in Attachment A, those applications. His property is a corner lot, so he has frontage on both Hammock Oak Court and on Scott Lane, which requires a 20-foot setback along both of those frontages under Article 450.05. There's a layout of his lot included as Attachment B, where you can see those lines established. His house faces Scott Lane, and the garage sits along that frontage. You can see where the garage is placed in Attachment C. The lot is zoned R2, mixed residential, and is surrounded by other residential zoning areas and uses. There's a zoning map included as Attachment D, where his property is outlined there. Mr. Alderson did submit a site plan that's included as Attachment E, and we did visit the site and take some photographs of the garage as it is being built, and those are included as Attachment F. The submitted site plan and our measurements show the garage is about 11 feet from the front property line along Scott Lane there, confirming it does encroach about 9 feet into that setback, and it's about 2 feet from the rear property line. The impervious surface coverage will be about 50% with the inclusion of his new garage, which does remain below the 60% that is allowed. The garage meets the ordinance's definition of accessory use, and the property is not located in a FEMA flood hazard area. Mr. Alderson did submit a written response to the factors for considering a variance request. Those are included as Attachment G. This is actually the first time this board is considering a variance for both the front and rear setbacks for an accessory use. The public hearing was properly advertised. Neighbors were notified and a notice was posted on site. We did receive 3 comments from abutting landowners. Anita Godby, the next door neighbor, requested clarification on how the construction would affect her property, and she didn't voice any objection to the garage. Michael Young is a resident of Valley Bend subdivision. He expressed opposition to the garage, stating that it shouldn't be permitted since construction began without prior approval, and the property owner should be held to the established regulations. And Rebecca Mozella, who lives directly across Hammock Oak Court from this property, called and said that she wasn't objecting to the garage.
Okay. Pardon me, does anyone have any questions?
Yes. So the setbacks, I'm trying to see if I just boil this down. There's supposed to be a 20-foot setback in the front, and the structure, as a result of the structure, it's in at 11 of the 20 feet?
It protrudes 9 feet into the setback, so it's about 11 feet from the property line.
Okay, so they're 9 feet into the setback?
Yes.
And then on the rear, it's supposed to be 5 feet, and they're into it 2 feet?
They're into it 3 feet, leaving
Into
about
it
2 feet from the property line,
Okay.
approximately.
All right. Okay. I think that's all I have for now.
I don't have any questions either at the moment. Mr. Alderson, are you here? All right. If you would, please step forward, be sworn in, and then state your name and address.
You'll raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. Okay, you need to speak up and state this microphone, please. State your name and address.
Dennis Alderson, Jr., 2 Hammock Oak Court, Scott Depot.
Mr. Alderson, please tell us what you'd like us to know about your request.
Well, before I even thought about building a garage, I talked to the president of our association. I stopped him out on the road one day. I said, I'm thinking about building a garage. Do you have any problem with that? He said, no, as long as it met the roof and the shingles and all that siding matched the existing house, that was fine. It does that plus more. I mean, it matches a bit more than that. I took pictures of the garage. There's no sight distance from the subdivision road going up either direction. You can see fine, there's no sight distance. And we didn't have a permit because we didn't really know that we needed a building permit because it was in a incorporated area. But since then, we come down here and got permit and stuff, paid for that. And I don't know where the line comes from on the property, that setback, because we never had knew anything about that. That was just, did the county do that, or who did that?
Which line are you?
The setback line.
The setback requirements?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a county ordinance.
See, we didn't know nothing about that. I mean, that was, like I said, we moved it as far as we thought we could do. That's
Who's your contractor?
Mike Lett, he's sitting right here.
Mike Lett,
Lett.
L-E-T-T? Okay.
And Mr. Alderson, I think earlier I heard you say that the position of the garage does not block the ability to see the road, either coming into what I guess would be Hammock Oak Lane or leaving Hammock Oak Lane.
There's no sight distance problem. I got a picture of it if you'd like to see it. And there's a drop curb, which when we built the house 18 years ago, there's already existing drop curb there. So I wasn't going to cut no curb or nothing out. It's already there, just drive into the yard. There's not going to be a concrete driveway. It's just a garage, drive through the grass into the garage.
So you're essentially asking for an exception to the setbacks. So you
Yeah.
want to have the garage that's 9 feet away from the front and 3 feet away, I think it is, from the rear. Is there anything particularly special about the way the property's laid out, or anything about the property that requires that kind of exception from the normal setback requirements?
Well, that's about as far as we could get over on the 20 foot. Now, the one in the back of the garage, there's a trailer back there. It's like the slums of Tate Valley. He never mows his grass, he doesn't do nothing. And it blocks that from your view. I mean, it's just a mess.
Does that block any line of sight from that person exiting that trailer that you mentioned?
No, he can back out of that driveway if he wants, but he don't use that driveway. He parks in front of his trailer. That's just, the old people that's there died, and their son's got the property now. And I think he rents that, and nobody parks there, and he parks in the front of the trailer.
So the design of your garage is Is there a particular reason it's designed in the width that it is and the depth that it is?
I don't think there's no reason, that's just a 24 by 24 garage, standard garage.
That, two-car garage?
Yes, it's a two-car garage, but I'm only gonna put one vehicle in it for now. I mean, I just had a brand-new truck, $5,000 damage on it, sitting out in the driveway.
From hail? I think everybody in here probably had that.
To be clear, you did get HOA approval from Valley Bend subdivision, or no, from Hammock Oak Court subdivision, not Valley Bend I guess they're two different HOAs?
Yeah, you know, if I knew all these things, you know, we're not rich, so I wouldn't have got Mike and got a contract and built the thing if I knew all this stuff was going to happen. I had no idea, like I said, for the 20 foot. Because when I built the house, I had the pin set for the property line, and that's all that, so what I was going on was the property line pin.
Would a one-car garage fit in that, within setbacks? Have you looked at that? I mean, I know you've already got
No.
walls up, but
Well, the garage is 70% done. It probably wouldn't take him another 3 weeks or a month to finish it. And as far as I know, most of the people in our subdivision, they sent letters to, they had no problem with us building a garage. People across the street from our house, they had no problem. And on up the street, a few houses up there that letters went to, they had no problem.
I'm sorry, sir, you got to speak up. Just say what you just said again.
I don't think that anybody in our subdivision had a problem with us.
Might come a little bit closer to the mic.
Nobody in our subdivision had a problem with that got the letters that I know of, the ones that I talked to. People across the street had no problem with the garage. And I think there's 2 or 3 houses on up the street that got letters, and they have no problem. You can't even see that garage from our Scott Lane Road hardly at all, because there's a pine tree sitting there. So it don't even, you can see it on them pictures or not, but
I don't have any further questions.
I got a picture here if you want to look at it.
We've got some
We have the
photos.
pictures, thank you. All right, anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Alderson?
Anything else? I lost a lot of sleep over this, I know that.
Well, and one of the things that we ask is if you have any experts. I know that Mr. Lett, your contractor here, is he going to speak on your behalf as well?
Yeah,
It's up to you as the applicant. If you want to present testimony, you're welcome to. It's not really up for us to decide whether you do or not. So it's really up to you guys.
Well, if you want to add something, I'll ask that you come up and be sworn in. You don't have to, but if you do want to speak, we'll ask that you be sworn. Thank you, Mr. Alderson. You can sit down if you want.
Will you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, state your name and address and speak into the microphone, please.
Might need to adjust that.
My name is Paul Michael Lett, and I live at 168 Lineberger Creek Road, Hopewell, West Virginia.
Before you came up, you were saying a few things that we couldn't quite hear you because you weren't on the mic, but if you'd repeat that and add anything else you'd like to add.
If you pull out of the subdivision, it does not block any view of pulling out there as far as traffic and stuff. Like he said, if we'd have known there was a 20-foot, we'd have done something different, you know, no problem whatsoever. And I've been a contractor for 31 years. I didn't know if it was unzoned that you even had to have a permit. So what I'm going to ask is now, and I know this, so just say, for example, if I go out on Red House or somewhere and build something, do I need to pull a permit where it's non-zoned?
I will say we're not here to answer questions, we're here to receive information.
Right, okay.
If you have questions, I'd direct you to the planning office.
Well, I just want to know so I don't do this again.
Well, the staff can help you with that.
Okay.
And it really boils down to whether it's a zoned area of the county, but they're the ones who would be able to answer that. If you tell them where you are, they could tell you.
Okay, all right.
Anything else you want to add?
But the
Mr. Lett?
garage is, like he said, at least 70% done. Another week and it'll be usable. I hate to see him have to tear it down.
Any questions, Mr. Lett?
No further.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn.
Actually, before you step down, let me ask one question. One of the criteria we have to look at is that the variance arises from special conditions or attributes which pertain to the property for which which a variance is sought and were not created by the person seeking the variance. Are you aware of any special conditions or attributes which pertain to the property that required this to be built in this manner? We do have Mr. Alderson's written comments about the room on the property, the availability of space on the property and the location in which to build. Anything you would add to that?
No, we're at least 8, 9 foot, I think it's actually 11 foot off of the front property line, and we were 2 foot or 3 foot off of the back property line, so we just, as far as I know when I go into city limits like Nitro or somewhere like that, I think it's 5 foot or 6 foot, some of them's different, so we stayed off the property line as much as we could to build that size building.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Lett.
Thank you.
And there's a couple people in the back of the room. Do either of you wish to speak? Would step forward, be sworn in, and then adjust the mic appropriately and state your name and address.
You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? Yes, I do. Okay, you need to speak into the microphone and give your name and address, please.
I'm Susan Roush. My address is 1605 Rocky Step Road, Scott Depot. I'm here on behalf of my mother-in-law, Bonnie Roush, who...
You're going to have to speak into the
I'm sorry.
microphone.
Did you hear any of that?
That's better.
Okay. Susan Roush, 1605 Rocky Step Road, Scott Depot, West Virginia. My mother-in-law, Bonnie Roush, lives in 111 Scott Lane, who is a neighbor of Mr. Alderson.
What would you like to tell us?
Oh, I was just going to say that she lives in between him, there's a mobile home, and then his residence. There's no blocking of the road, backing in or pulling out the driveway at all. And I'm down there several days a week, so I just wanted to say that.
Okay. Are you supportive of the variance request?
Yes, yes, I am. Yes.
Any questions, Ms. Roush? Mrs. Roush, I should say.
Is that Somerset Drive that she lives on?
She lives on 111 Scott Lane.
111 Scott Lane.
She's beside of the sunset, the other one on the right side of the road.
Okay.
Yes. There's that mobile home between her and Mr. Alderson.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir? All right. That appears to be everyone in the room, but for the sake of the record, I'll ask if anyone else wishes to make public comment on this variance request.
I'd like to ask staff a quick question.
Sure.
Michael Young, who expressed opposition, he's in Valley Bend subdivision. Where is that?
He is one road further down in the next subdivision. He was notified because he lives within 250 feet of this property, but he does not live on the same subdivision.
He's within 250 feet of the property?
Yes.
Okay.
And he is in another subdevelopment.
Yes, he lives in another subdivision, the next one down Scott Lane.
Subdevelopment has its own covenants, I guess, different from,
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
All right.
We closing the hearing?
Yes, we will close the public hearing. And there are factors which will, or criteria that we'll go through after we deliberate, but I would first move that we adopt the information in packet distributed for tonight's meeting, the comments of staff and all witnesses as the factual record.
Just as a point of order, Mr. President, if you would invite that motion, we would be happy to make it.
Be happy to invite that motion.
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right, the motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4 ayes. That will be our procedural record, or I'm sorry, our factual record for this consideration. So we have 4 criteria that have to be considered. What I would suggest is we just go through each one, discuss them as we go, and each person make whatever statements about a factual record that they would like to make, then vote on it. Everybody agreeable with proceeding that way?
You with me?
All right. The first criteria, the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, or the rights of adjacent property owners or residents.
I agree with the statement.
I agree.
Yeah, it would not. There's not a line of sight issue or anything, so
Yeah.
I think I'm good with that one being a yes.
And also, I would add that it seems that the testimony provided today, as well as the information in the packet, supports that criteria. The second criteria, the variance arises from special conditions or attributes which pertain to the property for which a variance is sought and which were not created by the person seeking the variance.
Here's where I'm struggling a little bit on this one. I'm not sure I don't know if we have that here or not, and I invite others' thoughts, but you could build a single-car garage on here and not have the problem that they have. And the concern I have is we could grant these kind of things, but are we inviting people just to build stuff, and then they come in here and they say, hey, look, I already built it, sorry, and, give me a pass. So that's what I struggle with on these kind of things, but I recognize the investment that these people have put into it as well. But at the same time, you can't just encourage folks to just do what they want and then come in and ask for forgiveness once it's done. So that and the next one too, the unnecessary hardship, is it a necessary hardship because they've started it as too big of a garage than would otherwise fit? I don't know. So, that's what I'm struggling with.
I'm with you, Rob, on that. I'll echo that. To come in after the fact, I recognize that the contractor wasn't aware of it, but at the end of the day, that's not an excuse because it isn't a county ordinance on record. So I'm kind of torn with it too. I do recognize the hardship being the fact that there is an investment here already.
I'm sitting here looking at it, and in 31 years contracting, I've seen this numerous times. People will get started, they don't understand what the rules and regulations are, and they're evergreen, they change daily. I don't think these folks meant to get by with anything.
Yeah, I don't think so
I agree.
either.
Yeah.
I think they just made a mistake, and that's what we're here for, is, to right the mistake. We're not here to hold them in judgment question whether they are doing it to try to get by with anything, because I don't think they are. I think it was just a mistake, and I think we ought to right the mistake.
You see facts that support a conclusion that the variance arises from special conditions or attributes which pertain to the property?
Yeah, well, as he indicated, he's not a wealthy man. So if we make him tear this garage down, you know, I don't know how much of his savings he's put into the garage, but we're not here to burden the people of Putnam County. In this situation, we are not here to burden those people. We should be here to try to help those people if we can. And again, I think it was just a mistake. Nobody's hurt. There's no loss for anybody. Properties are not devalued. It's just a none. I mean, we should be trying as hard to help them as we are they're citizens of Putnam County.
We continue to mull on that one. We'll come back to it after we talk about it too. The variance would eliminate an unnecessary hardship and permit a reasonable use of the land.
Same kind of issue. I mean, is it reasonable, is it unreasonable to have a smaller garage, a one-car garage versus a two-car garage? I mean, probably not. But does the fact that they've already started make it a hardship, unnecessary hardship? I mean, that's to Mike's point. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get it. So I'm just,
Well, here I'm getting back to, it was a mistake.
well, yeah, I know.
Yeah, if he'd have known that he could only build a one-car garage, he'd probably just have built a one-car garage. And like I say, in 31 years contracting business, I've seen this several times. And yes, sometimes they had to be moved, and sometimes they didn't.
What about the Watson one? I was off of that one. You guys remember that one? What was it? Because y'all granted that variance, right?
Yeah, I don't.
He was my neighbor, so I had to recuse myself.
It was a two-story issue, wasn't it?
All right.
Can you all, somebody have any recollection, staff or board, of other setback issues we've addressed and what those facts were and how we resolved those?
When I looked for something that maybe had set a precedent, all of the granted setback variances had been for the primary residential structure on the lots. But there were some that have been approved for additions to residences or for new construction homes.
Not for a detached accessory structure, though.
No accessory structures, no precedent for this specific.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the fourth one while we all can mull that one over too. The variance will allow the intent of the zoning ordinance to be observed and substantial justice done.
I mean, I think that depends on how you resolve 2 and 3.
I think you're right,
Honestly.
as I was reading it.
I mean, so one's easy. It's just, if you get past number 2 and number 3, then I think you get to 4.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the two key words, justice done. I mean, here we are, no harm to anybody that I can see right now. Nobody would have a reason to legally challenge them. Their property hasn't been damaged. There's no property loss anywhere. Like I say, I've seen it before, and I've seen it go both ways, but I've seen it before.
This is a residential structure, not a commercial deal.
Yeah.
So, and that's another, I think that's another factor we can take into consideration.
Yeah.
If this were a commercial deal, I think it'd be easier to be less forgiving.
Agreed, agreed. Mr. Alderson notes that no room on the property but the specific location in which to build.
I'm sorry, Jared, what?
I'm sorry, I'm doing what I try to remind people not to do. Mr. Alderson notes that there was no room on the property but this specific location in which to build in his signed statement in our packet. I guess for me, the question becomes, this was the only spot to build. He relied on his contractor who reasonably relied on his contractor, who was not aware of the setback requirements and built a structure that is under our ordinance too large for the space and violates the setback ordinance.
Yeah.
But the question in my mind comes, does that create a special condition or attribute for the property? You know, if he built a smaller structure, probably we wouldn't be here. If he had known of the setback requirements, probably we wouldn't be here, but he didn't. So I think the question is, can you get comfortable that lack of knowledge by Mr. Alderson and his reliance on his contractor creates a special condition pertaining to the property?
Well, I see your point. I mean, another way to look at it is if you're going to put an accessory structure on this property, can you put it anywhere else?
Yeah.
That'd be another way to look at it.
Yeah. And the evidence that we have is that there is no.
The testimony is.
The testimony is, correct.
Well, looking at the map, even if he would build a smaller building, he's going to hit one of those setbacks one place or the other. I mean, you know, if he shortens the better building up, he get out of the 11, but he's still in the 5. If you see what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So really,
For width.
you know, that's the only situation we're looking at right there. I mean, no matter where he put that building, he's going to be in one setback. If he does, even if he makes it smaller, he's still going to be in one setback.
Anybody need any further discussion about the factual record to make their decision?
Okay. So we've done findings of fact. We've gone through each of the criteria. Does anyone wish to make a motion? Well, I think we need to try to come to a point to see where we stand on these two factors, and then that will, I think, lead our decision from there. So I think Mike's probably a yes on 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Hodge.
I'm a no on 2, and I'll concur with Mr. Stanstreet's reasoning on 1 and 2.
concur on what?
On Mr. Stone Street's argument for number 2.
Which one that is?
Your
Yeah.
initial.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I know it's hard, and I know where these guys are, but I just don't think I can get to 2. Because it's just, there's not anything about the property that's unique about it. So, I mean, I feel bad about it, but I don't know that I can get there on number 2.
Wow. That's a hard position because I think I value Mike's comments from the building perspective and contractor perspective. And with that, I would be a yes on 2.
Oh, boy.
Pick up the phone when I didn't have it on my calendar.
Somebody just bounced that ball right now.
That's right. I've got, my issue here is, on its face, I would agree that there is no special condition or attribute of the property. But where I get a little hung up, not a little hung up, a lot hung up, is Mr. Alderson he hired a contractor, he relied on that contractor. So I think I could get comfortable with the second part of that second criteria, that the conditions were not created by the person seeking variance. Where I have trouble is that the variance arises from special conditions or attributes which pertain to the property. Here, I think the variance arises out of a misunderstanding of what the ordinance was as opposed to a special condition of the property. That's where I'm hung up. So unfortunately, I think I'm at no on criteria 2.
Yeah, I think fair.
That, anyone wish to make a motion?
All right, well, I'll make it. Let's do number 3 too, and then we'll be done.
Okay. Variance would eliminate an unnecessary hardship and permit a reasonable use of the land.
Mike's a yes.
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
To the extent it's necessary, I would, well, I'll wait till we vote.
Yeah, well, I could, yeah, well, I'm not going to get there on number 2. I could get there on number 3 just because it's already built.
Yes for me.
All right. So,
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth.
I was with you there too on
All right.
number 3.
okay. So, in light of the comments that we have, I will make the motion that the application be denied because of failure to satisfy all 4 of the criteria.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
All right. You can vote no if you want.
But let's hold on. Because I didn't quite get all that. Let's just go down the line. Mr. Stewart?
Nay.
Aye.
No.
Renee?
He's a nay.
All right, well, to break the tie, based on the reasons I discussed, I am an aye. So therefore, the variance request is denied. With that, we will, I'll make a motion that I be authorized to note that the board voted to deny the application and to execute them.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. How long, we've executed this, how long does this take to get to the applicant?
We can make a copy tonight if you'd like, but,
Okay.
then the letter can be emailed out with that tomorrow.
Okay. Does that letter include the information, should Mr. Alderson wish to appeal the decision from tonight? Okay. Mr. Alderson, you'll receive a letter that will note that your application was denied, but it will also outline the procedure for which you appeal tonight's decision. We've actually already closed the public hearing. Sure.
There's a building up above us, and I know it's less than 20 feet from the road. Is this variance you all come up with, is that something new? Or is that just, there's a fence right down below us, right on the property line and state line. I don't understand. We're not that far off. I mean, I don't understand, we're not right on the property line. We're moving over the house. And we're paying taxes on that road, on that property. We can't use it. I mean, answer my question.
Oh, those properties aren't before us tonight, so we don't know those facts. The ordinance has been on the books for a while. So what I would suggest is that you look at the letter that you'll receive and make a decision on whether you wish to appeal this.
What about the taxes on the property? I mean, we don't have to pay taxes on that 20 foot if we don't even use it.
I am not a tax expert, but I would say yes, you still have to pay your property taxes.
But that don't seem very right to me. That seems like it's not right. We can't use our property. And besides that, in front of our house, it is on Scotland. Our garage is on the front of our house, or the front, is over on Hammock Avenue.
I appreciate your frustration, Mr. Alderson, but I would ask that you receive the letter, take a look at it, and make your decision whether you'd like to appeal. All right, with that, next agenda item is the staff report.
You can tell Mike, don't need to stay with him.
Before we start, you all are welcome to stay, but you don't have to stay. All right, Mr. Call, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
September 11th, we will hear another variance request for proposed residential construction permitted principal use to be the applicant residence. The applicant wishes to build a home in 20%.
So similar to this?
Pardon?
Similar to this?
It would be sent as a charge. It has not been commenced, and it's not an accessory structure. It would be permitted principal use on the property that he wishes to build the structure in.
All right, anything else? All right. Unfinished business. Aware of any? Well aware of any?
No, sorry.
That's all right. Yes, so we've got the next meeting in September. Are you aware of anything that's on the horizon between now and the end of the year? I'm sorry, I keep moving away from the microphone.
Well, as of right now, just in the, as I said, on September 11th, we don't have anything on agenda. We did. That's the key. That's what it is. Oh, no.
Just the September agenda item?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were referring to October.
Okay, yeah, well, I was, no, I got you. Just for my own edification, from a procedural standpoint, or I guess administrative standpoint, what's coming up on the horizon that we're gonna need to look at as a board? I know probably officer elections, that sort of thing. I think that's in the fourth quarter.
I mean, other than what's on the agenda for September.
Okay, well, no, I just mean just as a general, the rolling things that we have to do each year in terms of officer selection, that sort of thing.
That's his first year.
That's the first year, okay.
Gotcha. So they will make nominations at the end of the year. Right.
But that slate has to be out by the end of the year.
I mean, it doesn't have to be us, ideally, that, because you have to meet quarterly regardless. So somewhere in the last quarter, you would take your new business to, form a committee, what you recommend to have for your consideration. And then it would be presented at whatever in the first meeting.
Okay. Anyone's interested in chairing that committee, let me know. With that, there's no other agenda items, so the final one is adjournment. Your motion? All in favor?
Aye.
4 ayes, we are adjourned.